Number 10. The Karate people. The history of Nepal can be traced back to the 6th century BC with the Karate people. They were an ancient tribe that lived in the area between the Himalayas and the Indo-Gangetic Plain. The Karatas were known for their bravery and skill in warfare, and they established several small kingdoms in the region. One of the most powerful Karate kingdoms was that of the Sun dynasty, which ruled over the area from about the 4th century BC to the 3rd century AD. The capital of this dynasty was at Kantapur, which is now known as Kathmandu. The Sun dynasty was eventually overthrown by the Licchavi dynasty, which ruled over Nepal from the 4th century to the 8th century AD, and now we reach the Middle Ages. Number 9. Medieval Nepal. During the Middle Ages, Nepal was ruled by various small kingdoms and principalities. However, there were 3 main powers in the region: the Licchavi dynasty in the east, the Thakri dynasty in the west, and the Mallas in the south. The Licchavis were a Hindu dynasty that followed the Vedic traditions, and they built many temples and shrines throughout their kingdom. The Thakras were a Buddhist dynasty that had close ties to Tibet, and they constructed many monasteries and stupas. The Mallas, on the other hand, were a Shaiva dynasty that blended elements of Hinduism and Buddhism. All 3 dynasties contributed to the rich cultural heritage of Nepal during this period. The Licchavis are credited with laying the foundation for the Kathmandu Valley civilization. They built impressive temples like the Pasha Patnath Temple and the Changu Narayan Temple. The Thakras, with their Buddhist leanings, played a crucial role in spreading Buddhism in the region. They constructed the famous Swayambhunath Stupa, also known as the Monkey Temple. Meanwhile, the Mallas left their mark by building the beautiful Krishna Temple and the unique pagoda style of architecture seen in many Nepalese temples. This architectural style has a distinct sloping roof with multiple tiers, giving it a stepped appearance. It's believed that the Mallas were the first to introduce this style. The medieval period also saw the arrival of Islam in Nepal, primarily through traders and merchants from India. 8th and 7th century. By the 8th and 7th centuries, Buddhist kingdoms of the region began to decline, while the Hindu kingdoms grew in power. The Mallas of Patan and the Gorkhas of Nuwakot emerged as prominent forces. The Mallas, initially feudatories of the Licchavis, gradually gained independence and expanded their influence. Their control over trade routes brought them great wealth. In the late 13th century, the mighty Mongol armies led by Kublai Khan invaded the region. But the valiant Gurkhas successfully defended their land, pushing the Mongols back. During this time, the Gurkhas established the Gorkha kingdom in the mid-13th century, marking a significant moment in Nepali history. The kingdom became a formidable power under the leadership of King Prithvi Narayan Shah. He successfully united various small states, laying the groundwork for modern Nepal. After his death, his son, King Shiva Singh, continued to expand the kingdom. Number 6. British East India Company. In the early 19th century, the British East India Company extended its influence into the region. They focused on establishing trade monopolies rather than direct territorial control. This led to tensions with the Gorkha kingdom, culminating in the Anglo-Nepal War of 1814 to 1816. The war resulted in Nepal's defeat and the establishment of British dominance in the region. The Treaty of Shugoli imposed heavy restrictions on Nepal, including limitations on its territorial expansion and the prohibition of trade with Tibet. Despite these challenges, the Gorkha kingdom survived, and after the end of the British East India Company's rule in 1858, they faced the British Raj. No, 5 Rana regime. In the early 20th century, Nepal entered into a unique relationship with the British. In 1923, the Rana regime came to power, establishing a system of governance that lasted until 1951. This autocratic regime was marked by social reforms aimed at modernizing Nepal and its military. The Ranas pursued a policy of controlled isolation, limiting foreign influence, and maintaining a small army. They implemented significant reforms, including the abolition of slavery, the introduction of a new legal code, and the establishment of a national bank. While the Ranas modernized the country, they also restricted political participation and civil rights. Number 4. Democracy movement. The Rana regime's policies of controlled isolation and suppression of democratic movements led to growing discontent among the Nepalese people. By the mid-20th century, there was a strong movement for democracy and an end to the Rana autocracy. After King Tribhuvan's death in 1960, his son, King Mahendra, took the throne. However, he soon faced opposition from various political parties demanding democratic reforms. King Mahendra dissolved the elected parliament, dismissed the prime minister, and assumed executive powers. This move was met with protests and calls for the restoration of democracy. As the situation escalated, King Birendra, who had acceded to the throne in 1972, was forced to flee to India along with his family. A civil war erupted between the royalists and the rebels, further destabilizing the country. This conflict resulted in the deaths of thousands of people and caused widespread destruction. Eventually, King Birendra returned to Nepal and restored democracy. Multi-party elections were held, and Nepal transitioned to a constitutional monarchy. Number 3. End of monarchy. In 2008, Nepal's Constituent Assembly voted to abolish the monarchy. Driven by the desire for a more egalitarian society and a republican system of government, the decision reflected a broader trend in South Asia, where several countries had already replaced their monarchs with elected leaders. This move was not solely about replacing a king with an elected head of state. It represented a significant shift in Nepal's political landscape, moving away from centuries of tradition towards a more modern form of governance. Number 2. Maoist uprising. In recent history, Nepal has grappled with the aftermath of a significant Maoist uprising. This protracted conflict, which began in 1996, involved the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center, also known as the Nepal Maoists. Their primary objectives were the establishment of a communist state and the implementation of a radical agenda that included land reform, economic equality, and the redistribution of resources. The Maoist insurgency posed a serious challenge to the country's stability, leading to widespread violence and instability. Number 1. Second Constituent Assembly elections. Following the 2008 peace accord with the Maoists and the abolition of the monarchy, Nepal held its Second Constituent Assembly elections in 2013. These elections were a pivotal moment in the country's post-conflict reconstruction and its journey towards establishing a stable democracy. The elections took place amidst significant challenges, including security concerns, the need to address the grievances of marginalized communities, and the task of integrating former Maoist combatants into civilian life. These elections signify a crucial step in Nepal's path to peace and democratic consolidation. They provided an opportunity for the people of Nepal to exercise their democratic rights and contribute to the nation's future. Thank you for watching.